Hi everyone, and welcome again to another video clip from Teacher Joseph. Today I have one simple question for you, and that is, what brings you joy? What is it that's bringing you joy this day? Is there something in particular? I just want you to hold that thought in your mind for a moment. What brings you joy? Yeah, it seems that English doesn't feature on that list. Isn't it interesting? You know, when we talk about things that we like to do, we often just completely overlook language learning. And that's because many of us don't find it entertaining. So the next question is, why? Why don't we find language learning joyful? Why isn't it up there with drinking wine and doing other things? Well, I think for most of us, we associate education with hard work, and we associate things like learning with problems, difficulties, chores. Once you reach a certain stage, it gets easier. But until you get there, it's still very much an uphill battle, as we say in English. So how do we deal with that then? How do we turn English into something joyful? Well, to be honest with you, I think it's all about your mindset and what you believe. You can make it joyful if you want. It doesn't take too much of an effort, but it does mean that you need to completely reframe how you see language learning. And that also means returning to your roots. And what I mean by that is really beginning to look again at why you started learning the language. Maybe it was the result of a holiday. Maybe it's for work or for travel. Maybe at one point it was actually something that seemed like a good idea. But what happened, and what was it that killed that really nice idea? And again, it's the pressures of life. So as I always say, you know, when you start language learning, you need to come with the same attitude that you have when you're on a holiday. You know, you're in the hotel, you landed the night before, on the aeroplane, you're in a different country, you wake up and you think, I have the whole day ahead, I have no plans, and I can do whatever I want. There's no pressure. That's the mood you need to get back into with language learning. Because right now, most of us are saying, okay, I have 30 minutes I can give English in the morning. In my case, for example, Spanish. I have 20 minutes I can give in my lunch hour. I can have a meeting with an English teacher between 3 and 4 today. Everything is pushed into this really small place. And I think in order to fix that, you need to release it. You need to let it go a little bit. So it's not about cramming more English in. It's quite the opposite. It's actually liberating to give yourself space and time just to see, well, why did I start to learn in the first place? I think a good place to begin with all of this is just to take a really long walk. Go to the coffee shop, get a pen and a bit of paper out, and just write down those reasons for learning. Because if you really aren't finding joy in learning, and if it's stressful, then it would be better for you to delay it. You don't want to be filling your mind with stuff that is just not happening for you. It could be maybe in 1 month's time it's better, or in 2 months. It's about priorities. But what you don't want to do is to squeeze English into, oh, I have half an hour here, oh, I have 20 minutes here, but I have to cancel my English lesson because the boss wants me to do something. That's not learning. That's not learning at all. In fact, that's probably one of the most dysfunctional ways of doing things, because you're reducing English to a commodity and you're trying to match it with time. English is a language that needs the world to share it. It needs people to communicate with you in it, to practice it. It's a joyful thing. So you really shouldn't be thinking that it's just another commodity, another thing of your day. You need to give it the space to see where it wants to go. Because once you're past learning the grammar, you need to find your identity in learning. And that's a very deep thing and also a very empowering thing. Because once you find your identity, you need to start working with your voice to give yourself more power. And that's where voice coaching comes in. And that's when you move away from the grammar into who am I in the English world, and who can help me navigate this pathway that I found myself in. So these are very deep questions, you know. They're not easy. Which culture do I want to assimilate into? Do I want to be an American? Do I want to be British? Do I want to associate more with British English or American English? It's about identity, you know. And they're very deep questions, but the ones which have to be asked. So just take 5 minutes tomorrow or the next day. Sit down with a bit of paper. Ideally, give yourself half an hour just to really think more about your English. If it has to wait a month, put it away for a month. But you need to rediscover the joy. And I think that would be a beautiful and wonderful thing for you to do in order to restart your learning journey. Well, that's it from me. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Let's talk soon. See you all. Have a good day. Bye-bye.